Hi and welcome in my piano tip number 2. If you haven't watched the piano tip number 1, I really advise you and recommend you to watch this video first because there is a logical order in the advices I'm giving. The first advice I gave, just to sum it up a little bit, is that the sound is produced at the bottom of the key. Like any good dancer, any good martial artist, you need to be grounded in the floor, to be efficient, to feel secure, to feel confident, and to produce a great sound with flexibility and freedom. Everything was based on an exercise that Christian Zimmerman gave in a masterclass in Copenhagen. This exercise is absolutely fundamental and every pianist should at least once practice it and feel it. Basically, he was sitting on the floor with the arms like that, and with the full weight of the arm, the finger had to support this weight. So with that, you get really a strong, fat, organic sound. Compared to some people, and even me sometimes in my early stage of practicing and playing piano, sometimes I was a little bit afraid, especially in the pianissimo, so that's okay, but it's almost a special effect that you have to use very, here and there a little bit. But people want to feel the music. They don't want to hear the music, they want to feel it. So if you want people to feel the music, you need really I produce it at the bottom of the key. So basically, the weight of my arm is supported by the fingers, which is great because it gives you strong fingers. It gives you like a sensation of a whole thing, not just that and that and that and that, but from the back to the finger, actually there is one logical chain. The problem with that, if there is a problem, it can really be a little bit rigid. You can have a very fat sound. So the sound is good, but it's a little bit rigid, it's not very flexible. So how can we compensate this? And that's where the wrist is coming into the game. My teacher used to tell me that the wrist is the lungs of the hand, or basically the arm. This one has to be very flexible. So how to do that? Because of course, if you move a lot, your fingers might not be at the bottom of the key anymore because you're just moving. So what I like to teach to my students is each time I play, I try to be into this character of a conductor. Imagine a conductor conducting an orchestra. It gives a movement, and the movement is possible because this is flexible. But at the same time, it's not moving like that because this is not controlled. This is just, moving and throwing the fingers in all the directions. When you conduct in the right way, you're just conveying an energy. And this energy is logical. It's like you would play with the organic sound. It's like you could touch it, you could feel it, It's when you conduct, you are connected to the orchestra. So you keep like a link, which is of course invisible, but energy is most of the time invisible. You have to imagine the energy. When you play, conduct first your work. For instance, my second prelude, Opus 2, and so on. So what I would do first for me, 3 A, dum bum ba be dum. I would feel the pulse like that. Yeah, this one. So you can really train just to have a very elegant, logical, convincing, and at the same time very flexible movement. Then what you can do is once you feel that and you feel the movement, you can even imagine an orchestra in front of you and maybe this melody. Like imagine conducting the flute, you know, or if you want to play it by the trumpet. Imagine conducting an orchestra. That is really fundamental. I think it will be the subject of another video, being a conductor. But for this one, once you did that, you can just go and, like the exercise number one, feel the keyboard and feel the weight being supported by the fingers. And at the same time, feeling the bottom of the key, you can conduct. You can do that. 1, 2, you can even do that. 2, 3, 4, to experiment different movements of the wrist. So always connected to the bottom of the key. You can do this exercise, for instance, quarter notes, different dynamics. And the wrist must be really not moving just for the sake of moving, but like you would conduct, you know, I use the same gesture than this, but I have just an extra, let's say, duty with this one is to feel the bottom of the key at the same time. So, quarter notes, eighth notes, sixteenth, and I feel really free this way to move my fingers, you know. They are not blocked by anything. They are just moving along with the movements and the energy I'm communicating. So now I will go to my piece. Dim bum 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 bidum, dum bum 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 badum. And what is interesting, you feel also the syncopation, because dum ba ba ba. You see the syncopation was when I was in the upward movements. So it really helps you also to feel more the rhythm, not just like something da 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 bidi, but dum ba bum dum bidum. And now I will exercise without pedal, slowly, and I want to feel these movements. Practice that with different dynamics, so very subtle movement like dim bum 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 bidum to something more majestic. And of course you don't have to do big movements and huge movements, but you have to feel, even if it's very subtle, you need to feel the movement and you need to let your wrists really breathe. Never ever ever blocks them. And now I will try to play my piece again in the very pianissimo dynamics without pedal. When you don't have the pedal, that's where you feel that you are really, really into the movement, because if you have the movement, you have the resonance. If you block, you don't have the resonance. The sound is really dry, da, da. If you have the resonance, da, da, da. You know, it has this extra tail at the end of the sound. So. Imagine the orchestra in front of you can help, and you conduct. try with the pedal, it will be much easier, but it's important to make the song work without pedal. For me, it's really very, very important. It has to sound good without the pedal. And when you use the pedal, you use the finger feeling the bottom of the key and at the same time giving the impulse and the movement with a very flexible wrist, or that it's a really good feeling at the same time too. And last thing, when you have to play crescendo or forte, don't think of playing just harder. Think of just broadening the movements more than pushing, okay? Enjoy practicing like that. For me, it's really the two fundamental elements of piano playing, besides, of course, having a good posture, not being like that, just, feeling just confident at the piano, feeling the bottom of the key, having confidence by feeling the fingers, supporting the weight of the arm, and at the same time, feeling free to conduct. And this combination of weight, key bed and conducting in the wrist, that will make your playing much, much better. I hope that this video helped you. Please let me know in the comments, and of course like the video, it will encourage me to do more videos like that for you. If you want me to explain a little bit more certain aspects of this technique, or if you want to have more examples, practical examples in different musical contexts, please let me know. Happy practicing, see you in the next video, and good sharing of your talent.